And that's the wrong one. Welcome back, everybody. Somehow Ecamm has got my labels all messed up. Not really sure how that happens, but then I'm not really sure how Ecamm really works. It just does, and you just keep clicking until you get the right camera, right? So happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back. Uh, yeah, so I thought we'd talk cameras tonight. Kind of a switch up from the bag thing. I'm still doing the videos on the bags, and if anybody has any questions, Um, if there's a specific bag you would like to see me review that I haven't already done, just leave a comment and I'll try to make it happen. Uh, the video tomorrow was requested by someone that watched one of my videos. So, uh, yeah, I do listen to you guys, believe it or not. Let's see who's here. Roy is here first up. The best part about my favorite camera is that it doesn't let me down, so I always get paid. Yes. Okay. So what is your favorite camera? I'm pretty sure it's a Nikon. Which one? And Roy's saying, "Good day, Sly. Good day, Roy." You just like to hear me say that, don't you? Yeah, I know. And there's Lewis. Hi, everyone. Hey, Lewis. How you doing, bud? And Randy's here. Hi, Sly. How are you, Randy? You have been killing it this week. I think you must have put up, I think, 8 videos. That's just amazing. Rock on. And Jim's here saying, hello, everyone. Happy Friday night. Did you get your tripod? I've been wondering about that all week. And Scott's saying, we still have a bunch of vanilla eclairs, so everyone enjoy. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I love vanilla eclairs. Actually, I like anything pretty much sweet. Yeah. But that's okay. Funny story. I've worked for Lowe's forever, and they have a health bus that comes around. Okay. And so I am the same weight, obviously the same height. Everything is the same except my age. And in my mid 40s, by their charts, I was considered, how did they put it? Like, severely, what do you call it? Some morbidly obese. That's what it was. Okay. So that was in my mid 40s. Now, same height, nothing has changed but my age. Okay. I've weighed the same weight since I was probably 35, right? So, and that was, I had my second child at 33. So having children does put a little bit of weight on you. So anyway, a couple of years later, the bus comes around again and they do blood and they do all this blood work and everything. And I am just not morbidly anymore. I am just obese. Okay, whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, there's a lot bigger people in there than me, but okay, whatever. So fast forward 15 years, and I am now the image of perfection, according to the Lowe's Health Bus, right? In fact, they actually put down that I was 50, and everything was still in the green. And when they changed it to 60, everything just got lowered. So yeah, I have finally caught up to my height and weight. The older you get, the more you get to carry, I guess. I don't really know. But it was just funny how nothing on me has changed. It's just their scales that have changed. Roy's saying happy Saturday afternoon, everyone. Yes, today is my Saturday. So I know on the calendar it says Friday, but it is technically my Saturday. Roy says Randy was here first. Oh, sorry. How do you know that, Roy? Did Randy comment first? No, I don't know. Did y'all just like wave at each other in the room or something? I don't know. Scott says, speaking of bags, seriously, I bought an extra lens on my last shoot. The bag? Paper grocery bag. Truth. Really? So, how much did you spend on this lens? And you trusted it to a grocery bag? I mean, even a pillowcase, Scott. Really? Even a pillowcase would have been a little bit better. You could have wrapped it all up. You know, I saw these things that are they're like flat pieces of material, and that's all it is. And then you just fold in the corners over themselves, and voila, that's supposed to be protection. So, how about a dish towel next time, Scott? Just fold it over and stick it in your bag. Not a grocery bag, your camera bag. Just take a dish towel, fold it over that expensive lens that you just bought, and put it in your camera bag. Yeah. You don't have to have all this fancy stuff. I do have a lens case back there, and it was not expensive. And it is so padded that it makes, I believe I bought it for the 24, I think, if I remember right. And I bought the smallest one I could find, and it makes the 24 almost look like a telephoto. It's so big. Yeah. Did I put that up there? Yeah. And Roy says, my favorite camera is the Nikon Z9. Um, is that the new one? The Z9? It's either the 8 or the 9. I don't remember if they go up or if they are coming down. Yeah, pretty much Canons, I pretty much know all their models, but not so much with Nikon. Jim says the tripod just came today, still in the box, but tomorrow project. Jim, there's no project to it. Yeah, so I'm not really sure why I have this sitting on my table, but I do. So you open the box and you come out, you'll pull this out, right? And really nice case. And you just pull out the tripod. Now there will be, which apparently this one doesn't have it. I have them around somewhere. They come with a kind of one of those velvety bags to cover the head, and I use those for other things. So yeah, but I'm not really hard on my equipment. So, but yeah, that's, you pretty much take the velvet thing off the head, and I really don't think there's a whole lot of other packaging in it. So it's not really a project if you're wanting a project for tomorrow. Oh, apparently it comes with a phone clip, which I don't ever use. So there's that. But yeah, I love these things. I mean, they are so lightweight. It's just, and they come in their own bag. So I did review a bag this week. Not my favorite, gotta tell you. It's gonna drop tomorrow. I'm gonna give you a heads up. And you're supposed to carry a compact tripod in the bottom of this thing. And that's why my tripod's out, because yeah, it wouldn't fit. It's, you know, it's not long, and it does have like a strap, and you can wear it kind of over your shoulder. A lot of times I hook it onto the bottom of my camera bag. So depending on where I'm going and what I'm doing and all that's good stuff. And then sometimes I just sling it over my shoulder, put the backpack on, and then just sling this over one shoulder, and you're good to go. But it's not compact enough for that bag, but this thing is pretty compact, and it's severely lightweight. I mean, if I can do this, yeah, it's really lightweight. So, I mean, I am no Xena the warrior princess here. So, I think you'll like it, Jim. Yeah. Uh, Coffee eclairs are better. Oh, I don't know about that, Roy. But then I don't drink coffee. I like kind of like the vanilla. Yeah, vanilla, chocolate, either one. Scott says your BMI needs to be under 30 to avoid being obese. I'm 29.9. Well, Scott, as you get older, your BMI can be higher, apparently. I don't know, because when he changed the numbers from 50 to 60, the typo, it brought everything down even further. So, yeah, go figure. I mean, obviously nothing changed but the age thing. So apparently as you get older, your BMI can be bigger. I don't know. Larger, higher number. I don't know. Scott says, about the grocery bag. Yeah. Yes, let's talk about the grocery bag. I felt like a crook. Wouldn't be tempted to steal something in a brown paper bag. Uh, okay, I felt like a crook wouldn't be tempted to steal something in a brown paper bag. Were you in a crooked area? Uh, I, I mean, yeah, if you're gonna have your camera gear with you, yeah. Still thinking, hmm, not a lot of lens was $1,200, and you put it in a brown paper bag. So forget the crooks. Think about the people in every city has them. Those women who walk around and they just throw trash away, right? What if somebody had just thought it was trash and just threw it away? Oh my goodness. Camera bag, Scott. Camera bag. Just saying. I have several if you want one. I will send you one. Do you like messenger? Do you like backpack? Because I have got so many. I'll send you one. Royce's latest Nikon is the Z8. Okay, but I like the 9 is still my workhorse. So I was thinking, I was watching one of Chuck's streams, and there did seem to be a lot of, not heated debate, but a lot of debate that the older one was better than the newer one that had just come out. So I don't know. Like I said, I'm not Nikon. So hey Kyle, how you doing? Hi Sly. That was very, very generous of you to give Peter all that stuff. Uh, Kudos. Yeah, I know he'll enjoy it. So I'm glad you're here, Kyle. I haven't seen you in a couple of streams. Roy says, coffee is my main food group. You know, a lot of people, I just met a guy this week that was working on our building, and he almost got divorced over his coffee cup. It was kind of a funny story. His wife insisted on washing it, and he insisted she not wash it. So there was a major debate in their household about his coffee cup. He is now divorced, and he can have his dirty coffee cup. So everything works out. Jim says, favorite thing, finally full frame in my favorite camera, my new Sony A7 IV. Awesome. So is it the fact that it's full frame? Is that your favorite thing about it? Because my favorite, and I have more cameras than I need, but all of my cameras have a flip up screen, except for the 80D, which I do not like and do not use. I like it. It's just big, it's cumbersome, and it has a flip out screen. And so I got to, when I was thinking about this, I'm looking at my cameras and I'm like, every one of them, M6 Mark II, flips up. Canon G7X, flips up. I was looking on Facebook, and I guess there's a lot of scams going around right now on cameras. People saying they have cameras to sell and they take your money and they really don't have the camera. But they had a Sony HS99X, maybe. I'm not really familiar with Sony numbers either. Anyway, and so I did a comparison between it, which is a point and shoot like the G7X, and the ZV-1, which is my overhead camera. That's why I pointed up, because it's up there. And apparently the ZV-1 is hands down a better camera, but the guy was selling it kind of cheap, and I thought, oh, well, maybe I should pick up another one. The ZV-1 has a flip out. The I don't know what the numbers are. It was H something 99 something. And it has a flip up screen is why I was interested in it, because it flips up. But I love that about these cameras. But if the camera itself is not up to speed, so to speak, like this the sensor size and everything on ZV-1 is bigger. So I won't get a camera just because it has a flip up screen, but I will look at those first. Does that make sense? So, yeah, that's my favorite thing. Jim says, but might need to hire you for a private consult on the bag. Sling ain't cutting it. Gonna go to a backpack. Uh, Jim, you don't have to hire me for nothing, okay? I will talk to you anytime, sir. And I do know way too much about backpacks. So, yeah, and I think I have every, like, almost a bag for every occasion. I have them for long hikes, short hikes, um, throw in my car. I'm getting ready to take my grandson on vacation for his fourth birthday, and so I'm going to take the bigger version of the throw in my car. Uh, so yeah, there's not a lot I don't know about. Just give me the specs. Just tell me what you want. Do you like side access? Do you want top access? Do you want back access? Do you want front? Um, I personally like rear access because you can lay the bag on its front, and then when you put it back on, if you are, let's say you're out in the woods and it starts raining and you need something out of your bag, you're either trying to hold it and fumble and try to get this out, or you just find a fairly dry spot, lay it down, get out what you need, and then when you put it on, you're not putting that ground clutter back on your back, right? So I that's just me personal. I just like a rear access bag. I could care less about side access. I'm not, I hate to say this, but I'm not really coordinated to take it off one shoulder, sling it around, and then get in an opening. Yeah, it just never seems to work for me. So I have tried several. A lot of my bags have side access. I just don't use them. So, and then I have what I call destination bags, which we're only going to be gone 2 nights, so I probably won't take a destination bag. But if I was going to be gone a week, then I would take a lot more gear because you never know what you're going to need. And I get very frustrated if I own something and don't have it with me. If I'm like if I were to come back to Florida, I would get very frustrated if I needed something and I didn't have it with me. So, but like for a 2-day trip, yeah, I'm probably just going to take the larger Timba Fulton, the 16 liter instead of the 10. So, uh, but yes, I know way too much about bags, Jim. Roy says, I love the dual USB ports on the Z8, but the Z9 just feels right for me. That's the key, right? I mean, I like the G7X. It's a great little camera, and I take it with me a lot when I'm just like, don't think I'm going to need a camera. I'll just stick it in one of the sling bags, which, by the way, I have gotten to where I love that TomTalk. I just got in a Wandered. Not thinking. I mean, there's a lot of hype behind Wandered, but so far the backpack is too heavy for me to carry on a daily. The sling, the what they call their fanny pack, doesn't have enough pockets. The TomTalk, hands down, so far is the winner, and I've gone through probably 30 sling bags. That just seems to be what people are watching. So I'm trying to grow my channel, so I'm going to do what people want to see, and it seems to be bags seem to be it. So yeah, but that TomTalk is the bomb diggity. I actually got the Wandered in today, and I kind of got my stuff packed in it. I haven't taken it out yet, so it still has the tags on it, but uh, it just it has no front pocket. It's the material. I don't even. Oh yeah, I do. The material is not as soft as their tech pouch. Now I love their tech pouches. It's more in line with the weight of the material of their Provoke bags. So, I mean, I love the color. Okay, don't get me wrong. And I love the fact that it's a magnet over here. So I probably will carry it some, but it's not the TomTalk. And so I am going to order the TomTalk with the magnetic closure and the gray interior because the one you get off Amazon has black interior. Not really a fan of that. um, when you have a black bag and you open it, everything gets very cavernous, right? So I like a lighter color interior. But um, yeah, that my channel has always been about what the viewers wanted to see. And I've tried several different avenues, and some of the weirdest things do really well. And then some things that you think would just be really good have been total flops. So, who knows? I did find out that YouTube promoted, well, they didn't promote. YouTube, people love to watch dinosaur videos. Okay. So the first few days, that dinosaur video just did fantastic. And then I did not label that it was for kids. And because my grandson is the star of most of it, they didn't ban it, but they wouldn't, like, you have to search for it to find it. Like if you just put in a dinosaur, it'll never come up because it's not a ban. I can't remember what it's called, but I had to go back in and change it and put made for kids. So yeah, there's that. Debbie, how you doing? Hi, Sly. Uh, Everything good? We need to talk, girl. Got some news for you. I hope you're well, Deb. Roy says, I'm not much of a YouTuber, so a flippy screen doesn't mean much for me. I use a field monitor anyway. Yes, I actually bought I believe it's called a Lilliput monitor, because I am older, and so seeing something on a 3-inch screen is not the most ideal. So I thought 7 inches would be better. And then I thought, well, I could hook it up in unison to these other 2 monitors and read the comments. And so, yeah, that didn't work either. Yeah, so it's been sitting in a box. Yeah. Everything I have is really small. And if you put even on this is probably my biggest camera besides the 80D, which sits in a bag. You put a 7-inch monitor on that, and it sticks out way past the camera. It's definitely somewhat overkill. So, yeah, I ended up not using it, but it's all good. Deb says, I'm on vacation and my camera was giving me trouble. Oh no, it would not focus and my screen kept flipping upside down. Anyone know how to fix this? So Deb has a T5i, I believe. And she's used the heck out of it. She does a lot of sports photography, and so I would imagine her shutter count is way up there. It would not focus, and my screen kept flipping upside down. So you mean when your screen was up, instead of it being right side up, it would flip the image like it was back like that? So everybody was upside down. I have heard of people having that issue, and the only fix that I know of is now on hers, I believe it flips out to the side. I think, if I'm not mistaken. But the only fix that I have heard for that problem is to close the screen and then open it back up, or turn the camera off and turn it back on. So, yeah, not ideal when you're in the middle of trying to shoot something, but it might be time for you to upgrade, Deb. I'm just saying. You've got see, this live stream is for you because everybody in here has cameras and they're supposed to be telling you what they like about them. Randy's talking to Deb, says, okay, what camera do you have? I believe it's the T5i, if I'm not mistaken. Debbie saying Canon Rebel. Roy says, Debbie, my Sony A7 had a similar problem. If it's under warranty, then get it fixed quick before it dies like mine did. It is not. She's had that camera for several years. That's what I'm saying. It might be kind of time to upgrade, Deb. Uh, there's some R cameras out there that I think would be right up your alley. But we'll talk. Yeah. Debbie says it is kind of old. It's my go-to, but I will take it to a camera shop and see if it can get fixed. I think, Deb, now that cameras, it will probably cost as much to fix it as it would to just buy a new camera body. And you've got lenses, so you can just get an EF to R adapter, and you should be back in business. There's an R10, I believe, that would be perfect for you. It's not very big, and there's also an RP, I believe, but the R10 is probably a better camera. I think Randy would know. Randy says, go to the menu and look for the rotation for the LCD screen. The Q button, 90-degree reverse or 180-degree rotation. Also, if you do not have the LCD screen out, you will get what you are getting. If you don't have the LCD screen out, you will get what you are getting. Yeah, if it's not out like all the way, let's see if I can maybe figure this out. No, it doesn't have a battery, and I don't have any batteries up here. I don't know if this one will do it or not. Okay, so I don't know if you can you even see that? Sort of. Okay, so as I rotate this up, it'll tell the camera at some point, right about, nope, 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 not yet. Yep, right there. So it has to be that far up for it to flip the screen over. So if it's giving you problems, I would try flipping it back down, and then flipping it up, or turning it off and letting it reset. And it may just be time, Deb. I know you've had that camera a long time, but you have been having trouble with it for a while. So it may be time to start shopping. Roy, who knows everything about cameras, is telling you, do a camera reset and remove the battery. It might help. Yes, turning it off. But yes, take the battery completely out. Wait for about half a minute and then put it back in. Let the camera kind of reset. Randy says, what I mean is if the flippy screen is not out facing you, but in an angle, that is what may happen. Yes. So on, since those don't articulate. So on yours, Deb, and I know the battery on this is not charged up, but so your screen articulates like that. And so if it's not, it may be if it's not locked in there, I'm not sure at what point this one changes. But if it's not locked in, it may give you some problems. So that's why I don't like flip out. It drives me insane when people, and I know I have to read the comments, so I look off the screen, but it drives me insane when people do their entire videos and they're looking off to the side. It just, look at the camera. Debbie says, okay, thank you, everyone. Yeah, this group would know, Deb, but I am thinking it's probably time you upgraded. You've had that camera. It's paid for itself. Roy says, probably got the same Lilliput field monitor. Yeah, I don't even know. It's got like I don't know if they all do, but it's got like a red rubber casing around it. It's nice, but I just haven't found really a use for it. If I would disconnect one of my monitors, I could probably use it as a second, but on these Macs, it's really hard to get 3 monitors out of them. So I have not found a way to do that that works consistently. Like, I would get it up and running, everything would be great, and when you turn the computer off and turn it back on, it didn't work again. So I just don't use it. Randy says if your screen doesn't flip out, then go to the menu. I always just ask a question on YouTube or Google and we'll get an answer. So no, it does. She has I believe it's the T5i. I could be wrong, but her screen flips out like, and then turns like the 80D. It's just a smaller camera than this one, but and like I said, she has had a while, and it has been through a lot of pictures, a lot of pictures. Debbie's saying yes. Roy's saying sports photographer tape down the flippy screen in case it catches and kills the camera. So she shoots like high school sports and takes pictures of the teams and stuff like that. And she's really good. Randy says R10 is a crop camera. The RP and R8 are full frame. The RP is full frame. Okay, I didn't realize that. So the T5i is a crop camera. So yeah, I would probably go with the R10. Deb, just because that's what you're used to, and all you have to do is get an adapter, and you can use the same lenses that you have. So Debbie's saying no. She likes your camera a lot. She doesn't want to get a new one. Peter says Canon R7 refurbished direct from Canon with full factory warranty, $1,100. Yeah, I think she only spent $600 on the T5, so her budget is probably not $1,100. See if they have an R10 on their refurb. Debbie, all my cameras are refurb. I have bought one new camera and I had nothing but trouble out of it. And every camera that I have, every camera now, is a refurb, and I have never had one single problem out of them. I think it's because the new cameras, they go down an assembly line, and I think they're checking like every 10th camera. And the refurbs, they're checking every single camera. So I've never had any problem, and they look brand new. I mean, you cannot tell, like, there's not a mark on any of them. I've gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from Canon refurbs. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of their refurbished program. Roy says maybe time for that camera to go to the big dark room in the sky. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too. Debbie says, what does anyone think about the mirrorless camera? This mirrorless. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm a fan, right? They're lighter weight. This is the old DSLR. When you consider this and the weight of this, no contest. So I think you'll like it. And the only reason I'm recommending the R cameras is because that's what is out now, and you can get lenses and stuff for it. So, but you can use, with an adapter, you can use the lenses you have. Randy says, I own Canon, Nikon, and Sony, and they are all mirrorless. Yeah. So, the only reason I'm saying stay with Canon, number one, is you know that camera. And so the menu systems are just almost identical on all 5 of these cameras. The menu system is almost identical. Now, on the M200, it's a little harder to find. It took me forever to figure out how to set that in manual mode, because it is really, even though it takes detachable lenses, it's really for somebody that just wants to take out the camera, turn it on, and start taking pictures. And it'll ask you if you're taking photos or video. And then it doesn't really want you to set anything. So they didn't put any buttons on it. It doesn't have any. It's just a box. It's like a little bit bigger than a credit card, and yeah. So I would not recommend that one, but and the M cameras are, they're not getting impossible to find stuff for, but they are getting harder, and the R cameras are Canon's kind of thing right now. So like the Rebel was their thing, now it's kind of the R's. Peter says mirrorless cameras are about the only cameras being sold today as new models. The DSLR style is pretty much over. Yeah, and there's a reason for that, because they're heavy. R10 refurb is $787. Yes. So, Deb, I got a camera from MPB. You might look at their site, and I'll look for you too. If your camera is, if it's time to say its goodbyes, I'll look for you too. I'll find you a deal. And Peter's giving you a link, so you can just copy and paste. Point and shoot M200. Yeah, it's like, honestly, Randy, the G7X, which is a point and shoot, has more dials on it than the M200, which is you have to put the lens on. So, yeah, but and one of these days I'll probably take it off just to show you guys. It literally has a shutter button and an on-off button, and that is it. Everything is done through the menu, and it is very hard to get into the menu, right? It asks you, do you want to do video or photo? And whichever one you select, then it just goes. And so that's why this camera never moves. It just stays right there. Debbie's saying, thank you, Peter. Yeah, he's really good at research and stuff. Almost as good as me. Almost. Yeah. He's not quite the shopper I am, but he's almost. He's up there. So, but so what is your favorite thing about your camera, Debbie? I mean, let me know what it is that you like about that particular camera, and then that'll kind of give me something to go with. Yeah, the T5i, I borrowed it from her one time, and it's very, very, very lightweight. Like, it probably weighs less than the M6. I just remember now. Of course, this was right before I bought the 90D, and I was still doing a lot of research and everything. But I just remember it being super, super lightweight. So, yeah. Uh, Debbie says, you're the best. I drive everybody completely insane with my research uh, abilities. Yes, it's like, now it's funny because since I've been doing all these bag reviews, I don't really research them too terribly much. I have found some things that I really like, but I'm going to do whatever people want to see reviews on, right? So, and then I'll just either give them away or sell them on Marketplace or whatever. Um, if any of you guys want anything, you just let me know. I'll just send you something. Scott, you need a bag? Even a sling, Scott. Even something to put that $1,200 lens in. Oh my goodness. I know, none of my lenses were $1,200. That's, yeah. So my favorite thing is probably having the flip up screen on the action cameras. I would never have one that didn't have a front facing screen. So Uh, I mean, when I'm kayaking and stuff, I have a camera behind me shooting, and I can't even see the screen because it's behind me. But if I'm talking to the camera, I want to make sure that I'm like not filming my shoulder. I did actually put a video up, and most of the video, all you saw was my shoulder and my son's shoulder, the back of them. And that's actually my second highest video. Yeah. So apparently people like shoulders. Not really sure. But there's that. You don't ever know what people are going to want to watch. Uh, Randy says LPL. Randy, why do you do that? I have no idea what that means. LPL. Lapel. LOL. Okay. That one I know. Okay. That was funny. See, Randy's really technical. And so if he were to put up something like LPL, I think he knows what he's talking about. Okay, that's probably the funniest thing of the night. That was cute. But yeah, Deb, what is it about the T5i that is your favorite thing? And then we'll kind of build from there. Because you will have to have an adapter for your lenses. But that's okay. I have let me find my button here. Okay. This camera right here is on the same lens that you got, Deb. And it's an M6, okay? But it has an EFS lens on it with an adapter. So the R, you can get an adapter to go from EFS to R and still use your 24 lens. So we have the same lenses. Yeah. Debbie used to be my boss. So now but we're so much alike, it's not even funny. Yeah. Okay, that was funny. Yeah, it kind of was. Okay. Yeah. Uh, Roy knows what LPL is. Enlargers and stands. Okay. See? See, Randy, it was something. It had nothing to do with what we were talking about, but it is something. I'm going to remember that one for a while. So, I don't know. Debbie doesn't do a lot of video. She does primarily photography. So, is the R10, you guys, Randy, I know either you have one or you have had one. Is it more geared for photography or more geared for videography? Because I think she needs one that's more geared for photography. And there was two cameras that came out, and now I cannot remember what they were, but they were saying that of the two, this one was geared for photography and this one was geared for videography. And now I can't even remember what they were. It'll come to me, but I have these moments. Peter says, I can tell just listening to Deb that she is a picture taker over being a camera guru. Definitely, yes. She is out to nab the picture over wanting to play with the camera bodies. Yes. LSD. Whatever. Yes. Yes, she will mess with the dials until she gets the picture to look the way she wants it. And she's not really schooled on what all the aperture and all that does. So but she takes amazing pictures. So whatever she does, it works, right? And then she'll pretty much just leave the camera on that setting unless she changes. She took some wonderful, wonderful pictures of her granddaughter for graduation, and they came out fantastic. So she's really good, but she is much, much more about getting the camera to work than she is working the camera. So R7 for pics, R50 for video. Okay, so is the R7 is the pricier one though, right? What about the R10? Because I'm kind of thinking where her budget is. So um, R10 has more features. Is okay. Maybe I have them backwards. I thought the R10 was the smaller. So maybe the R7 is the smaller. Yeah, I don't know. But I could tell just kind of by looking at them real quick. Uh, so Deb, I'll find out and shoot you a text. I need to talk to you anyway. Um, there's been a lot going on. So, um, but yes, I had my grandson this week. Yay! And next week is his fourth birthday. I haven't seen Charles in here. Today was Charles's birthday. So, happy birthday to Charles, even though I don't think he's in here. Uh, R7 has two SD card slots. Yeah, see, she doesn't really need that. Um, yeah, we'll figure it out. Roy says, I thought the R10 was the cheaper version of the R7. See, I kind of thought so too. Um, but the R10 has more features. Okay. Um, so yeah, I'm thinking she's probably gonna need something, in the $700 or $800 range. She only paid $600 for that camera at Best Buy years ago. She got a good deal on it. It was on sale, but I think it came with a lens or two and the camera body, and she got a good deal. Camera bag maybe. Um, R100 is the smallest. No flippy or tilt screen. Yeah, I do know that she does like her screen to be out. So, um, yeah, she did. The R100 would not be a good fit, but I, I think the R10, if I'm not mistaken, I might be. I might be. I'm not really an R camera person. I got into this M system and I absolutely love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything. I will be very unhappy when the time comes that I have to say goodbye to these cameras because I just love them. No, R10 has more features than the R50 and the R100. Okay. So price-wise, where are they? Roy says the only Canon I own these days is a video-only camera. Yeah, the I bought a Canon 30 years ago when my kids were small, and so when I got back into cameras, I stayed with Canon because I had the lenses, So it's like and then I got into this M system, and because of the size and portability of it, I just really fell in love with the M system. So I know I'm an anomaly. Uh, R7 is better and has the bigger battery. So I think, no, I know because I ordered her some batteries. Uh, the T5i takes these little dinky batteries. They're actually, I think they're the same size. It's actually the size. I believe it's this size, which is a step up from this size. Not by much, but they're still dinky. Yeah, but I believe her camera takes this size battery. Um, I don't think it's an LPE12. I cannot remember. Um, I ordered them and then I kind of forgot about them. The biggest drawback with mirrorless cameras is the battery life is usually tiny. Yes, I will agree with that 110%. And that's my biggest gripe. But it seems to be like it doesn't seem, unless you go with a workhorse. It just, it just, that's what you got to put up with. If you want a small camera, you're going to have a small battery. And, you know, so I would rather gripe about the batteries and have the small camera than have to lug around the big camera. Now, this is a fantastic camera for taking pictures and for sitting on a tripod. It is just not a good carry around camera because it's just too heavy. And as a flip out screen. Um, in Sly Talk, the R7 is 612 grams and the R10 is 382 grams, body only. Yes, so the R10, Debbie, look at the R10 because I'm really thinking that was the first thing that came to mind. It's going to be the closest to the T5i. So it's just instead of being the EOS, it's going to be the R system. So, but I think it's going to be the closest thing to what you have. So, if your LCD screen still works on your camera, then forget about it. So she's been having focusing issues lately. I think the autofocus is probably, the motor is probably going bad. It's not like just started this week or anything. This has been an ongoing thing. So I think it's probably time that she look into something new. Ditto what Randy said. Yeah. So, a lot of times when you take a camera in now to get it fixed, you can buy a new camera for what they want to fix that one for. And if it's an older model, it's really not worth fixing. The newer cameras are so good now. And I mean, so they've come out with the I don't believe there was a T6. There was a T7 and I think a T8. And then they stopped the Rebel line. So the trying to think, the 7 had the Digic. I think hers has the Digic 6 processor, and I think the 7 had the 8. They're up to 10 now. So, or they call it Digic X, which is 10 in Roman numerals. X is 10. Yeah. So, so what processor does the R10 use? I'd be kind of interested to know about that. But I think if she upgraded, she would be happier in the long run than trying to fix an older camera and putting out the money for the older camera. Yeah. So that's just my opinion. Debbie's going to do what she wants to do. She'll take all the information, and then she's going to do what she wants to do. She's just like me. She makes up her own mind. Peter says, autofocus is in the lens, not the body. Fixing cameras are usually ripoffs. They see you coming. LOL, LDL, LSD. Roy says, the Sony repairer couldn't fix my A7 even under warranty. Didn't have the parts. Yeah, I heard some of the Sonys came out they released the cameras before they had an ample supply of the parts, and then I think that happened with one of Peter's friends. Didn't Shane break a camera and have the same problem? Deb says, yes, my autofocus is driving me nuts. I turn it off and it still will not focus. Manual focus is okay, but my eyesight is not the best. I know. We're all there with you. Yeah, I think it's just probably time to upgrade. I buy tons of cameras, Debbie. You've only had one for how many years? And I'm pretty sure I can't think of anybody in this room that only has one camera except for Debbie. Because yeah, I would not even begin to count how many Roy has. Peter, I think, probably has 7. I think. I could be wrong. Now, I'm not counting the old, your dad's cameras. I'm counting your cameras. You may have more than 7. Uh, Randy, oh my goodness. Again, I've lost track. Randy has so many. So, yeah, you're kind of an anomaly, Debbie, because you only have one camera. Peter says, sorry, I got a new one now to go along with Winter Winter Frozen Chicken or something like that. Yeah, okay. Debbie says, I will take donations, right? Roy says, I only have one camera in my hands at a time. Yes. Uh, that's a lot of times. Now, if I'm on the kayak or whatever, I have 2 cameras going at the same time, right? So, uh, but yeah, you pretty much can only hold one camera at a time. So, Debbie's probably on the right track. I just have, like, this is what I call my purse camera. I don't carry a purse. So, I love this new sling bag though because now I have this plastic cover over this, and this just fits right. It's like got a pocket like made for this camera. It fits perfect. So just in case of emergencies, I am going to look into the Osmo 4 because I want to know if it's slimmer or is it still as bulky as what this is. I love this little camera, but it is so bulky. This is, even though it's bigger, it's, I don't know, it just fits in the bag better. But because this would be ideal, it's, now it doesn't have zoom, and that has zoom. But if you're around water or anything, so when I go to take my grandson next week, it's at a huge, huge indoor water park thing. And I will be taking a waterproof camera. I will be taking when we're not around the water camera. And I probably will be taking a keep in my pocket camera. So um, they all have their different uses. I use them all for different things. I'm just glad that I have them all because they all do different things. Uh, Peter's saying, Debbie, get the R10 and go to happily take pictures. Just check on what Slice said about the flippy screen. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll get with you and we'll see if there's something we can do to figure it out. But I think if you take it into Bedford's, I think they're going to probably want to charge you as much as what you can get a new camera for. Roy says, I can't imagine a shoot without at least one backup camera. Yeah, that's, I would be, I'm to the point now where if I went somewhere, like we're going on this vacation, and I only took one camera with me and something happened to it, it would really upset me. More than it probably should. Randy says, Roy has everything. Yes, he does. He absolutely does. Yeah. And Roy is talking to Randy saying, not everything, but I'm a gear hog and have been photoing for many decades. Yeah. So I can imagine if I'd been doing this for 30 years, I would have, like, yeah, I have enough stuff. And it's only been, what, 3 years? So, and there's Carlos. Hey, everyone. Hey, Sly. How you doing, bud? It must be almost time to it must be almost time to sign off. Carlos usually gets home on Friday nights around 9 or 9:30. It seems like. So I don't even know if you're home. You may still be at work. Randy's saying the Sony ZV-1M2 is my backup camera. Okay. So the only thing, well, okay. So there's 3 things I don't like about the Sony ZV-1. The menu. It's Sony and not Canon. Okay, and I'm deeply immersed in Canon, so I'm very comfortable with the Canon menu. The Sony menu's not that easy for me to navigate. Number two, it has a flip out screen instead of a flip up. And number three, the image stabilization is pants. I'm just saying. And I know that there's a program you can go into to fix that. I don't want to have to do that. So that little bad boy will stay right up there for all his natural life. And Jim's saying, and Randy has almost everything. Yes. Yes, he does. He did a video and he showed he's got so much stuff that the boxes have to be stored in his garage. And Randy, I'm the same way. I keep all my boxes just in case. I have no idea why. But yes, I have a whole closet of just boxes that, yeah, who knows why. I turned professional photographer in 1978. That was before I graduated high school. Not much before, but a little bit before I graduated high school. It was a long time ago. So, well, Jim, let me know about the bag thing. Let me know how you like the tripod. Slyreader at mail.com, not Gmail, but Slyreader at mail.com. You can get a hold of me anytime. It comes to my phone, so I'll get it. I don't think it dings or anything, but and you can go through Messenger too on Facebook. I don't get on Facebook that often, but I do get on. I like to shop on their marketplace. I find a lot of really good deals. Just one thing, beware of Facebook Marketplace and cameras, because I guess there's some scammers right now. Roy says, Randy has all the gear that I don't have. See, there you go. I don't think Randy has been into this very long either, because all of his gear seems like is fairly new. So, um, so I don't think he's been doing this as long as like Roy and Peter. Pants. I feel very uncomfortable when I don't have pants. That's another one of those words, Peter, that you're going to start using when you are not good, or I don't know. It just when you're not good at something, or when um, you're pants at it. I don't know. I don't know where that came from. Uh, Randy says the new ZV-1 Mark II is 18 to 50, no time record limit, and has better stabilization. Yeah. So I did a test for Lewis, actually, Lazuka, who I haven't seen tonight. And I put this, the G7X Mark III. Now, this has had the firmware update, so the focusing problems have pretty much gone away. But I put this on my little bar that I have that is somewhere. I have no idea where. But it's a bar about that long. And so you put, one camera here and one camera here and one tripod. And so whatever this camera is feeling, this camera is feeling. And I mean, the G7X blew away the Sony. It wasn't even a close comparison. Now, they both have pretty identical microphones on board. I still use my Tascam. It's just easier for me. I don't have to worry about, is the sound on? Is it not on? I've recorded quite a few videos with no sound because, I forget. And so the Tascam for me is just so much easier because it's just always recording. And then you can come back and put it in and sync it up. And for the most part, it stays with the video. Occasionally it gets off. Lewis says, I just reorganized my boxes today. Yeah, I think we all have them. I don't know why it just seems to be kind of what we do is, you just, I don't know why. Because it's not like you're going to send anything back. But yeah, I have boxes to things that I probably don't even use anymore. So I'm looking over there at my boxes and I'm thinking, hmm. Um, so, Lewis, you got me hooked on this wireless mouse, right? Which I tend to lose a lot because it's wireless. So it could be anywhere on my desk. And because of its size, which if you notice, it fits my hand. It's one of the, like, it's like made extra small because I have small hands. But because of the way it's made, you can inadvertently turn it upside down and then your mouse moves backwards. It's a comedy show at Sly's house. Yes. If it can be screwed up, I can do it. Roy says, "Oops, I have some gear still in boxes from 50 years ago." Dude, those are collector's items. And Roy's talking to Peter, "I feel more comfortable without pants." Right? I mean, who knows? Who's going to see you? And Peter says, "Depends on who you're with, Roy." Yeah, well, Peter likes to wear his pants. Roy is talking to Peter, says, "I may have been alone in the studio for too long." Right? I used to get tickled. My ex-husband worked out of the house, and his office was upstairs. He had a big, big, huge desk, and he would amble up there about 8:30 in the morning in his underwear and get on sales calls. This was way before video, right? So it was all just audio. But it used to crack me up that he would work in his underwear. Randy says, "I feel more comfortable with the air conditioner on full time." That's hilarious. And Jim says, "What software do you use to edit, Sly?" Final Cut Pro. I started out with DaVinci, and Peter kind of guided me and talked me into the Final Cut Pro thing. And that's, yeah, I don't know that I could go back to DaVinci. I think I probably could, but Final Cut Pro is just so much easier. And now, because that one time that I had one of the cameras set to 4K, it took an amazing amount of space in my computer. And so, as a rule, anytime I upload a video, I immediately, before I have considered it done, I take the file from the Mac and put it on a hard drive. So, which I've got this one almost filled up. So, but I have like three more. So, yeah, I just, and I'll label when that one does get full. I'll label it and put it in the closet with all the boxes. Um, and then when I expire, my children can watch some of the videos, and there'll be plenty of them. Uh, and Randy is saying Final Cut Pro too. Yep. And Lewis is laughing. Uh-huh. This is all you, buddy. It's amazing how much we influence each other, right? Because I really, really do value you guys. And so you'll say something and you're not even talking to me. You're just like throwing it out there, and man, I'll pick up and run with it. And so I can't think right now off the top of my head, but there are several decisions I have made based on what you guys have said. So you guys are very powerful. Roy says wireless mouses run out of batteries too much. Wireless keyboards aren't as bad. So my keyboard is wired, and I don't move it around as much. The issue, I didn't need a wireless mouse until I turned everything and reset everything up. So I have two 32-inch monitors on my PC, and two 27-inch monitors on my Mac. And when I started doing the live stream, I use a mouse with my right hand, but the computer and everything else is over on the left. And so I had this wire running all the way across the desk and all the way around, and it was just completely annoying. And now that little man is getting old enough to use a mouse, I have a rather big mouse on the PC, so I'm going to order another one of these for that. My only question is, are they going to cross swords? Having the exact same mouse, one plugged into the Mac, one plugged in, are they going to try to, like, read each other? Is that too close a proximity? Or should I just stay with a wired and a wireless? I'm not really sure. Oh, I like that. The Backwards Mouse by Slyreader. I like that. I have a friend that writes children's books. I'm going to suggest that title to her. I like that title a lot. Jim says, I've been using iMovie, but probably time to go pro. Jim, once you start using Final Cut Pro, it almost becomes like, it's very intuitive to a point. Like, it takes a minute to figure out all the commands and everything, but once you do, because I thought I would never get all the commands down. And I had a cheat sheet, and I kept that cheat sheet on the desk for a long time. And now it's just, I don't know. It's almost like second nature now, because everything is just, exactly where to go. Now, there's two buttons that bother me. The blade, which is the B, and the snap, which is the N. And on the keyboard, those are right next to each other. And it really irritates me a lot when I hit the N instead of the B, and then it doesn't cut it because I thought I hit the B. And so I go back and I hit the B for sure, and then I cut what I need, and 3 or 4 more cuts down, it won't let me move where I want it to move because it's snapping. Because I turned the snapping on when I hit the N 2 or 3 cuts ago. So it does have its moments. Yeah. But once you do that, then it's like, okay, well, I know exactly why it's snapping now because I was an idiot and hit the wrong key. But it's okay. Lewis says, I will love to give you some tips to keep your file sizes down with Final Cut Pro. Right now, I don't really have any problem. So the review videos I've been doing, I've been recording on Ecamm, which is fantastic because then you just take one file and you upload it right there, and it is so easy. It's a little bit harder. Like, we went to the river, and both cameras, the SD card, I haven't even taken them out yet. Speaking of SD cards, there was a new camera that was coming out, and it had a micro SD card. And now I cannot remember which camera it was. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? They put a micro SD card in it, and I think it was a Sony, instead of an SD card. If you know the one I'm talking about, let me know, because everything else sounded kind of interesting on that camera. That may have been the 99. It may not be a new camera. Never mind. You can negate all that. I don't know. It may have been the 99. Yeah, I don't know. I watch so much stuff, technical stuff, and I if I'm tired, I tend to get things jumbled. Peter's talking to Jim, says, iMovie is better than is said. iMovie is better than is better. That is said. iMovie is better. That is said. Okay. Jim, I've never used iMovie, so I don't know. I've used DaVinci. Like when I first started, I was using DaVinci, and I had never used a video editing program before, and so I was having some issues. Uh, when I started using Final Cut Pro, I was having issues too. So it's just because I hadn't done video editing at that point. So yeah, it's not really a big deal now. Uh, Roy says I've been using OpenShot for video because I'm cheap. I understand cheap. Peter says correction. Than is said, meaning it is a great place to start as it works well. iMovie is better than is said, meaning it's a great place to start as it works well. Okay. I've never used it, so I don't know. Lewis says they should have their own code to not cross signals, the wireless mouse. Okay, cool. That's kind of what I'm hoping. But the mouse that I have over there is a G-Skill. And it's really cool. It lights up, and it looks really cool. And the keyboard's a G-Skill, and they just kind of all go together. But his hands are even smaller than mine, and every time he leaves, the next time I try to get on the computer, the mouse is just going 100 miles an hour, and I have to go in to the settings and slow it back down to where I like it. So apparently he's hitting something on the mouse, and I don't think he would do that on something like that. So yeah, there's that. I don't want him to go to school being computer illiterate, you know. Randy says the Nikon ZF. Is that the one that uses the micro SD? Roy says, I really hate micro SD cards. They're not my favorite because, and this sounds so not me, because they're so small. You can lose them so easily, and I do frequently. These the action cameras take micro SD cards, and my dash cam takes a micro SD card, and they are so blinking small that you can't, like, you have, now it's kind of dark over here. I don't really have a light. I have an overhead light, but I don't have like a really light. And the little micro SD card reader thing is so small that I have to sometimes feel to see if there's one in there. So yeah, Roy, I'm kind of with you there, but the Nikon ZF. Okay, so maybe it was the Nikon that I was looking at. Nikon. But the specs looked really good. It was just the fact that it got bashed because they didn't put a full-size SD card in it. Roy's talking to Lewis, says we know what the F stands for in ZF. And Jim's talking to Roy, says I hate micro SD too. Drones and Raspberry Pi use them and they are a pain. Yeah, and I have heard that if because they all come with like a regular size SD adapter, and I've heard that if you put that in a camera, it will not work as well. So I've never tried it because I don't want to go to the trouble of filming something and then finding out that, oh, it didn't work as well. Randy's saying, fabulous. Don't think that's where he was going. Roy's saying, iMovie and Windows works, but it's a toy. Okay. I've never tried it. And Lewis is saying, fantastic. Again, I think y'all are missing it. Peter says, the Nikon ZF is said to have an SD card and a micro SD card. That camera is still in rumor stage, though. Oh. Okay. Well, so what's the one that you have? The ZFC? Maybe? I'm not sure. I just remember you said something about it reminded you of KFC. And Roy says, I'd like to get the guy that invented micro SD and insert them. And yeah. Uh, I hope the Nikon ZF doesn't use micro SD cards. There was something, I saw something, and I would swear it was a new camera coming out. And they were just appalled that they had chosen to go with a micro SD instead of an SD card. So, not sure what it was. Not, I'd have to go back and look for it. Peter says he is pressing down on the scroll wheel. It's a real thing. It clicks there. Yeah, that one has more. I don't think I can bring it over here, but it has more buttons. It has like it's for gaming, and so it has not only does it have the wheel, but it has a bunch of things on the sides. You know, you put weights in it on the bottom to make it feel right in your hand or whatever. Um, but I think it's just instead of just clicking, and he knows what to click, but I think he's pushing something with his thumb on the side. Um, so yeah, now I just check it after he leaves and set it back to where it needs to be. And Roy's saying, and sometimes a micro SD card can disappear into the device, into the unknown. Yeah, they're tiny. And if you didn't get it right in the slot, I could see it disappearing. Hmm. And it's a black hole down there, so you'd never find it unless you shake it back out of the camera. Lewis is saying, Roy, it's rumored that the second SD is micro on the ZF. And Roy says most SD cards now have a micro SD built into them. Really? Okay, well, it makes me feel better holding this size. This is small enough. Now, I like small. This is small enough. You can go too small. Roy's saying Nikon rumors say many things. Sometimes they're even true, right? So, well, guys, um, Jim hit me up about the bag, and we will do this again next week. And that's cute. Take 2 micro SD cards and call me in the morning. Um, but yeah, I hugely enjoy you guys coming in and just saying hey and thank you for helping Debbie. And we'll get her camera thing figured out. Debbie likes to take a lot of vacations. She's retired, and she can do that. And so she and her buddy go to all points unknown, right? Sometimes she takes grandkids, sometimes she doesn't. But I have a feeling since school started, she probably is just with Rick. But um, thank you for helping her. She's a good friend. And Jim, I hope you love your tripod. I love mine so much. I have many of them. But yeah, we'll talk bags. And Scott, if you need a bag, please hit me up. I have plenty. I have a plethora, as they say. I don't want to see you carrying a $1,200 lens in a brown paper sack. Okay? So, Peter says you laughed a lot tonight. Glad to see that. Yeah, I'm haven't had any sleep, and so I'm giddy. I tried to take a nap, and I did, but I think I'm running on about 2 hours sleep because I had a little man last night, and so yeah. So yeah, I'm just a little bit giddy, but I will see you guys next week, and we will do this all over again next week. Like I said, I'm dropping a video on the last messenger bag. I don't believe I'll do more of those because they're just not my style, you know. Um, I am digging the sling bags only because I can carry my little camera. And I don't know why. I mean, my phone has a camera on it, and I always have my phone with me, but I really like having a camera on my person. Like, I understand guys who want to carry guns, how they like that. I like having a camera on my person. It's weird. I don't know. But I don't know what I think I'm going to catch, you know, because just pull your phone out, find the camera icon. First of all, it's on the homepage. Okay, find the camera icon, and then I don't know. This is so much for me. This is so much easier. You just turn it on and you're ready to go. So there's that. But yes, we will see you next week. Everybody have a great week. And what is it Peter says? We'll do this again if the bridge, something about the bridge and the river. Yeah. All right. See you guys.